Good morning. This is another episode of my cooking show. And today, let me cut off the fan so you can hear. Today, I am making my mom's recipe, which is preserves. I'm making peach preserves. And I'm dedicating this section to my mom. And I'm going to read a little recipe for Happy Life that she wrote in her book before she died. You're going to have her recipe for a happy life, like 4 cups of love, 2 cups of loyalty, 3 cups of forgiveness, 1 cup of friendship, 5 spoons of hope, 2 spoons of tenderness, 4 quarts of faith, and 1 barrel of laughter. So you're going to take love and loyalty, mix it thoroughly with faith, blend it with tenderness, kindness, and understanding, add friendship and hope, sprinkle abundantly with laughter, bake with sunshine, and serve daily with generous helping. This is a real nice book, and she has some good sayings in it. Okay, today we're doing mom's preserves. I've already had it cooked on the stove, and it's almost ready. And you would need a different type of phone, a canning jar, clean, washed, sanitized. I've already done that. And I use a tablespoonful of sugar gel to set it. But you don't have to if you want to just keep the preserves loose. But if you want to set it, you can use that. And I use 1 tablespoonful of butter to keep the foam from foaming on top of the fruit. And I use firm, whole fruit. Firm. Soft will not make, it'll make good jam, but not preserves. So I'm gonna show you how it looks. It's almost ready. So you're gonna get your spoon. Let me come a little closer and see. You're gonna see how it drips. It's almost ready. So I could put it in the jars just like that, because I like it on pancakes and ice cream. And this will be, I'm going to move my pot over here. Let's see, you can see me. And I'm going to put my jars right there. I'm going to use my funnel. And by the way, when you are measuring butter or margarine, it has the measurements right on the stick. So if it calls for 1 tablespoon, 1 tablespoon is up here, 2 tablespoons, up to a half cup. 1 stick is a half cup, 2 sticks is 1 cup. So if it asks for 1 cup of butter, you use 2 sticks. And you use the measurements on the wrapper. Okay. And don't forget your ladle. This is a ladle. And I like this. I like sterling silver tools because you can sanitize them very good. You can sanitize them. So I'm going to stir this a minute. And I think I'm going to put it in the jar just like it is. I'm not going to use the sugar gel today, because this is going to be a more loose preserves where you can pour over things, but yet you still can put it on your peanut butter and jelly sandwich if that's what you want to do. And this is not my sugar-free kind. I do make sugar-free, and I have some of that already made. And I have strawberry and peach. So this is the regular kind, but I cut back on the sugar. Now, the recipe for this is so simple, so easy, so anybody can make it. My mom, this is dedicated to my mom, and sometimes it gets emotional for me in the summer because we made preserves. Every time when I would buy peaches or any fruit, I always got enough for her, take it to her, and then she would be making her preserves at home and I would be making mine here at the house. And we would, sometimes I would get some of hers, she would get some of mine. So you're gonna ladle your fruit, cooked fruit, into the jar. When she had the recipe, she didn't really time anything, so she gave me the recipe, which is 2 cups of fruit and 1 cup of sugar. So it's only fruit and sugar in this recipe. And I added the 1 tablespoonful of butter because it keeps the foam from coming and your fruit from rising and boiling over on the stove. It's really, you don't have to worry about foam. So I'm making small jars, and I'm making, and you may drop a piece of fruit now and then. Nobody's perfect. So if you do, don't worry about it. You have plenty in the pot. And she always taught me to make small batches. So this is, you know, sometimes I make 6 jars and look like this is gonna come up to 6 jars. I have 4 jars prepared. I always have some backup jars in the cabinet, so that's no problem. I make small jars. These little small jars I make for people that it's like one person and they don't want a lot. So I try to have some for everybody. But this is what it looks like when you finish. And it's so good. You can eat it right out of the jar. This is good to put on ice cream, all different types of pancakes, waffles. You can use it on almost anything to get this nice flavor. See, and I'm getting 4 jars, 5 jars. Usually I get 6 jars, so it's happening. And remember that little recipe that I gave you out of her book for, you know, happiness. And if you go by it and do it, you will be a happier person. So I'm going to have to get 1 more jar. I'll be right back. I always keep backups. So, because you don't ever know, sometimes it's 4 jars, sometimes it's 5 jars, sometimes it's 6. So, I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jars out of this batch. And be sure to buy fruit that's firm. Soft fruit make good jam. The difference between jam and preserves is jam is mashed up fruit. Like if you have overripe strawberries, or these peaches are very hard to peel if they're overripe. So I wouldn't try to deal with peaches like that. But strawberries, that's fine. You can mash them up, do your boiling, and that'll be fine as a jam. It's hard to make peach jam because you need this firm fruit. So, then I'm going to take a spoon. Spoon all this good juice. Make sure to go ahead on and put water into your pot because you do not want to have sticky and stuff that they have sticky, because this peach preserves, it is sticky after you get it in the jar. So your pot will be sticky. So go ahead on and put water in there. And now we're going to put our lids on. I get a paper towel. And I always wash my hands before I start. That's just a habit that I always had all my life. Not about any virus or anything. Just, I always wash my hands. So you're going to wipe around your rim. Make sure there's no peach juice because we're not perfect. And you could have a little peach juice, but you're making sure these jars are hot, so be careful, okay? I can withstand hot stuff. You're going to put your lids on. I put my flat lids on first, and then I come back with my rings. And you're going to tighten them, and the jar is kind of hot, so you be careful. Be careful, okay? And I'm going to talk to you while I'm putting my rings on. Okay. 2 cups of fruit, firm fruit, 1 cup of sugar, and then what you're going to do, you're going to put it in a pot like you saw mine. And I like using a stainless steel pot. It's just me. I'm a stainless steel girl. I do use plastic and stuff like that on occasion, but I'm a stainless steel girl. And you're going to take that fruit. Now it's only 2 ingredients, and I added the 1 tablespoonful of butter. But now this is the key. I do mine at night, so I'm up real early this morning talking to you, and you have to cook it right after overnight. I do it overnight because the juice that you see in the peaches are made from the sugar and the fruit. And you have to let it stay overnight with your sugar, your 1 cup of sugar, your 2 cups of fruit. So the next morning it's like soupy, got a lot of juice, and then you got to cook that juice down to the stage that I showed you. Make sure that it's dripping down. And I'm also going to wash my jars once they cool to make sure nothing sticky is on it. Because like I said, we're not perfect. And sometimes you do spill a little of this juice on the jar when you're putting it on. Putting it in the jar. So, and the thing about it is, you're going to hear these lids pop. That's another thing. You don't have to use a canning pot. See, back when my mom was canning, she didn't have canning pots. And sometimes she just used regular jars. She didn't have the ball jars, the other brand, or all the stuff that you really needed. So she used what she had. And sometimes she would use jars that she already had because she had 9 children. And with her and my dad, 11, it wasn't going to last a year. So she used what she had, and she taught us how to use what we have. And I love that about her. She taught us how to be entrepreneurs because she was an entrepreneur. And she taught us how to make it, not complain about life, but be thankful. And, and a lot of her is in me because I love to cook and I love to try things. And she loved to try things. We went to the yard sale for years. She made clothes, and we would go to the yard sale, and I always did the interior stuff. We had like clothes, pillows, bedspreads, all types of stuff. I can sew, I can cook, I can do a lot of things. My mom, she crocheted, all those little things. I just adopted it, and I can make it in life because she taught us. But this morning, it is morning. I'm up making preserves while you are asleep. And I decided, I was thinking about my mom. I've been reading over her book and having real nice memories because every time when I want to hear her voice, I can read her book. Because it's kind of talk to you, and she tell you different things and what she went through walking in the shadow of my past. And I feel like I'm walking in the shadow of my past also because what we're going through now, she went through in a different era. So there's nothing that haven't happened before because history repeats itself. So I hope you've learned something, how to make preserve. This is an easy way. 2 cups of fruit, 1 cup of sugar. Let it stand overnight. Get up the next morning. First thing you do is make your preserves. Already have your jars sanitized and washed. And in that way, you won't have to be trying to wash your jars and your lids and making your fruit. You'll have everything ready, and it's really delicious. And like I said, this I didn't put the sugar gel in, so it's gonna be kind of loose, but it's gonna be for another purpose. And I'll get a jar that's I have sugar gel in. This is a jar that I've already made a few days ago. And this how it look when it has sugar gel. It just gelled up. So this is with sugar gel and this is without. This is going to be kind of syrupy. You know, a little syrupy, but set enough that you can put it on a sandwich. So when you decide to make your preserves and you want it to set, just get you a box of sugar gel, depending on how much you make. I don't like for it to set hard, so I don't use the whole box. But you can use the whole box. It's not going to hurt you. It's going to make your jam or jelly just perfect. So, and this is perfect too for what is the use of it. So I have plenty of this. And this is what I do in the summer. My mom and me always have done it together, and I miss her. And I was reading her book and thinking about her and started reading about the part of that happiness, that little poem I read. And then she has another poem. I read that whenever I do another one of her recipes. And I hope that you learn and make you some preserves. You can use any whole fruit. You can use figs. I couldn't get any this year, but fig preserves is really good. You can use apricots. You can use peaches. You can use pearls. You can use strawberries. Any whole fruit, raspberries that you want to make, you can use with this recipe. And every recipe that I have is short and sweet, and you can do it. And you don't have to put a lot of effort in it because we don't have a lot of time to devote to cooking like some people do. So when you work, you want to get it done. So this is an easy recipe.